Hi everyone, and welcome to IngramSpark Academy, Selling Your Book 101, Selling to Bookstores. I'm Dion McAdoo with the IngramSpark sales team, and I'm excited for you all to be with me today. Before we begin, I would like to go over some housekeeping items. This webinar will be available for viewing on demand, and that link will be sent to you directly in a post-session email. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. That email will also include some links to some additional readings in case you want to take a deeper dive into anything I covered today. If you are having any technical difficulties, please click the help widget and you will find system requirements and a link to FAQs. For today's session, we will cover some of the basics of selling your book to bookstores. We will look at the prep work you need to have for a high-quality book. We will dive into how bookstores prefer to order and receive your book. Look at some marketing tips to help your book stand out. Discuss how to directly reach readers and generate sales. Lastly, we will speak on building relationships with bookstores for continued success. Before you focus on where you want your book to sell, you need to ensure that you are providing a high-quality product for the market. Making the commitment to invest in cover design, formatting, and a trusted editor will ensure that you have a professional product. Bookstores want to be confident that they can sell a book before they buy it, so you want to make sure that you have a quality book to give them. Do your homework and research on the following items. What are the common trim sizes? Do you see mostly hardcovers or paperbacks? What kind of imagery is being used on the covers? What do the interiors look like? Is the paper cream, white, or groundwood? Visit your local bookstore and take notes on the books that you see on their shelves. If you notice a trend, try to stay close to what you see. Obviously, we don't want you to be an exact clone, so you can push the limits a little bit to help make sure that your book stands out. Now we will take a high-level overview of some best practices for pricing. There are two key factors to consider when selling your book to bookstores: the wholesale discount and the return status. Let's look at the wholesale discount. Bookstores look to receive their standard discount when ordering books from distributors. One way to ensure that they receive their standard discount is to offer a 55% wholesale discount. This is an industry standard for most retail outlets and will entice the buyer to consider your book for their shelves. You should consider making your book returnable. Bookstores expect to be able to return any book that they are unable to sell and to receive a credit for their return. Now, this could be a risky decision since you, as the author, will be charged for any unsold copies of your book. Also, there could be additional charges like shipping involved should a retailer want to ship it back to yourself. A return-destroy option is often the most cost-efficient option for most independent authors. With all that, you want to make sure that you are pricing your book appropriately. Review books that are like yours based off of factors such as genre, page count, hardcover or paperback, interior cover, and then try to stay in the general ballpark you see. Give yourself about a $5 to $7 pricing variance to consider. Please note, pricing yourself too high could put you outside of the market, whereas pricing your book too low could undercut your compensation. And for the last point on prep work, Create and learn an elevator pitch for your book. Be able to explain concisely and accurately what your book is about. This will help bookstores know whether your book fits for their customer base. Now to talk about how bookstores want to order the books for their shelves. Bookstores prefer to work with a convenient distributor. While they can purchase books directly from you, it is much easier for them to place orders for your book from a sole source rather than ordering from dozens of individual authors. Bookstores prefer the easier ordering, selling, and invoicing that comes with working with a trusted distributor. If it is easier for the bookstores to order, stock, and sell your book, the more likely they will stock your book for their store. You will also want to make sure your book is readily available for ordering and to be stocked. Make sure that your inventory will arrive to your distributor at least 2 to 3 months prior to your publication date. Another way to ensure that your books will always be available is to use print-on-demand services. This is a cost-effective way to make sure that your books will get to bookstores and allows you to avoid having your books be stored in a warehouse or storage facility. We've covered setting up your book and getting it ready to be ordered. But how can you get the attention of bookstores? Here's a few tips that will help. Create advanced reader copies or galleys for your book. These unfinished advanced reader copies or galleys are intended to build excitement for your book and get blurbs from bookstores. Bookstores receive hundreds of ARCs every week, so be unique in your packaging to help your book stand out. Be sure to send your ARC at least 6 months prior to your publication date, so booksellers have enough time to seriously review and consider stocking your book. You'll also want to include a sales sheet or a tip sheet that includes an author bio, pricing information for your book, and how and where to order your book. Create and mail shelf talkers. Shelf talkers are designed and mailed with your finished book to help your book stand out on the shelf. Be sure to brand this with imagery from your book's cover and include a strong review from a bookseller or an important person consumers may recognize. If you don't have reviews or blurbs, consider adding strong quotes directly from your book to highlight the writing. Remember, the intent is to capture readers' attention as well as browse the shelves. Give them a good idea of what your book is about and motivate them to purchase. Booksellers tend to have space dedicated at the register for small tchotchkes. Consider using this space to promote your book. Create buttons, bookmarks, or even stickers that will be creative enough to gain attention from consumers and to be able to brand your book cover to help spread the word about your book. We quickly touched on this earlier, but you'll want to create a sales sheet for bookstores. This one sheet should be a quick takeaway of your book that includes a description of the book, your contact information, a quick author bio, any reviews that you have, and purchasing information on how and where to order your book. This sheet helps show why you and your book are a great fit for the bookstore. You can also include book marketing strategies to let the bookstores know that you will be getting the word out. If the bookstores are going to stock your book, they want to know that you'll be doing enough marketing to create interest and help it sell. One last tip we'll cover is to create a design reading guide. Bookstores frequently host book clubs, and providing them with a design reader guide is a welcome gesture. Your reader guide should be designed with elements from your book and strong discussion questions about your book. Be thoughtful and specific with your discussion questions for these book clubs. The goal here is to create open dialogue, provide meaningful statements that cannot be answered with just a yes or a no answer. Bookstores want to sell and they want the authors to support their own books. Bookstores will be approached by authors often, so stand out by advocating for yourself and show the bookstore that you are serious about selling your book. Map out a strong marketing plan that outlines your plan and spreads the word about your book, such as social media posts, events you are hosting and attending, and digital advertising. Be sure to share your plans with the bookstore. This will show them that you take initiative and that you will be supporting your book and that you have confidence that this book will sell. You can also start grassroots campaigns to help drive foot traffic to a specific store. Have family, friends, and fans ask for copies of your book over a period of time to help establish a sales record. When you approach the bookstores to see if they have stock of your book, management will most likely say yes because of these practices. To recap, be confident in your book and make sure that you have a strong marketing plan behind it. Another way to build a sales record is to directly sell to consumers by creating your own author website or by setting up an author page at bookshop.org. Bookshop.org is a book ordering website allowing you to sell your book to a wide audience of readers, while also supporting independent bookstores since bookshop.org donates a percentage of their profits to independent bookstores worldwide. Not only does creating an author page allow you to sell your book directly to readers, but you, as an author, can generate a mailing list. Use your mailing list to understand where your readers are located. This will be useful information as you begin to build relationships with bookstores. One key to selling anything is building relationships, and selling your book to bookstores is no exception. Now we'll cover a few tips to help build and strengthen your relationships with local bookstores. While it's great to have success at Amazon, keep in mind that independent bookstores and Amazon are competitors. Be careful of bragging too much about your success at Amazon, since some stores might reject your book because of how your sales are going to their biggest competitor. Be sure to support your local bookstore before you ask them to support you. Lay the foundation with your bookstore by visiting them regularly, purchasing books from them, and encouraging your family, friends, and fans to do the same. If you are not familiar with your independent bookstore or you don't know where to find them, IndieBound.org can be a great resource for you. IndieBound supports sales through local bookstores by linking purchasers of your book to independent bookstores in their area. Independent bookstores are valuable community hotspots. They help create publishing programs, publishing their own unique content, and hosting events. When pitching your book to your local bookstore, consider ways that your book can support their initiatives and their community. For the last point, know your audience. Visit bookstores and ask the buyer what book genres are selling and if those genres have historically been selling strong. Bookstores want to buy books that will interest their customers, so you want to make sure that you are doing your homework on the store and its consumers. You should also resource the bookstore's owner. See the type of books that the store is promoting and what books the authors are pushing on their social media platforms. Use this information you learn from your research to help you in your sales pitch to the buyer. And before we get into Q&A, let's do a quick recap of what we covered today. First, make sure you created a professional book that fits with your local bookstore and can easily be ordered and shipped. Price your book appropriately. Stay in the ballpark of books similar in size, length, format, and genre. Market your book. Have a plan. Print advanced copies and have a sales sheet available and create supporting collateral for your book. Funnel foot traffic. Visit your local bookstore and tell your family, friends, and fans to visit those bookstores and ask about your book. Support indies. Be a good partner and show independent bookstores that you support them. If they know you have their back, they will most likely have yours. And lastly, create a strong plan to sell your book and be confident in it. If you don't believe in yourself and your book, why would anybody else? And with the time we have left, we'd like to answer some questions you submitted during registration. We won't be able to answer them all, but we've chosen a few to cover. Question 1 comes from Anne. How can I get readers to leave me reviews? There are multiple ways to get reviews. You can set up an account with NetGalley or Edelweiss for bookstores, librarians, and reviewers to leave comments about your book. You can also reach out to industry professionals like Publishers Weekly, Kirkus, and Library Journal for a credible review from an industry professional. Also, don't be afraid to ask family and friends to leave you reviews on platforms like Goodreads. Our next question is from Laura. Is it a good idea to have a book on pre-order before it goes live? It is a great idea to have your book available for pre-order. Generally, I suggest having your book available for pre-order at least 2 to 3 months prior to the release date. Use this time to generate buzz and anticipation around your release date. Be creative and thoughtful and have potential giveaways or exclusive content that readers can enjoy. Our next question comes from MJ. Should your price be in the barcode, printed on the book? What other information and materials makes it seamless and easy for a bookstore or library to carry a book and order from Ingram? Well, most booksellers will require the price to be listed on the barcode. I highly suggest that you also add the book at your price on the cover as well. This makes it easy for consumers to know how much your book costs. Our next question is from Kathleen. When to start marketing and how? Now, there is not one right answer to this question. However, my suggestion would be to start marketing once you have decided on the cover. Using that cover to post on social media and create giveaway materials like stickers and bookmarks, create pay-per-click campaigns are just some small strategies that you can do to get the ball rolling. There are some experts on the IngramSpark website who provide marketing services that you can explore as well. Another question comes from Jennifer. Can you clarify on how to get into bookstores without allowing returns? Well, most bookstores don't carry many books that are non-returnable. However, there is ways that if you create enough demand or foot traffic to a specific store, that they may still accept your book on their shelves. So the real answer here is generate enough demand and the bookstores will order it. I have a question from Ella. Are any bookstores charged the same price that I have entered on IngramSpark? And can the store owners add a markup? Now, the price that you list is generally a suggested price, and a retailer may decide to raise or lower the price for multiple reasons. Typically, markups only happen when a bookstore is not receiving their standard discount, so as long as you're supplying the standard 55% wholesale discount, you should not really see too much of a trend of your book being marked up or lower unless that retailer is doing a discount. Another question comes from Jesse. How do stores find our books? Most of your books should be available within the distributor of your choice, whether that might be with a particular retail distributor or a distributor who's more keen to purchasing from libraries. But they will have your books first, and they send that information out to retailers worldwide. And then once the retailer knows about your book, whether that might be from a customer or from yourself, then they'll be able to order directly from their distributor whenever they want. And with that, we've ran out of time for today. We appreciate all of you for attending and sending in your great questions. I hope you found this informative and enjoyable, and I appreciate you for attending. Just a reminder, this session will be available on demand in case you want to rewatch or send it to a friend. We'll also be sending you a short survey to find out what you'd like to learn in our next session, so be sure to let us know what you think. Thanks again, and we appreciate you spending time with us, and we'll talk soon. Have a great day.